host some boxing.
Yeah, that'd be pretty sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, but boxing is dying though. Like it's like I think what's his name?
Jake Paul.
Jake Paul killing boxing right now.
Yeah, they finna get that dude hurt, man.
Yeah, for real.
It's funny because I know some boxing pundits, and they know, like, a boxing pundit that I respect really feels like Jake Paul is like a how do I say this? He doesn't see it quite as a sideshow spectacle that I see it as.
Okay.
And I mean, don't get me wrong, like, I've never prepared for a professional fight, but I've watched it up close, like privately, like watching somebody go through a camp and then on television. So anybody, you know, that's dedicated enough to put their body through what it takes to prepare for a professional fight for 8 to 10 weeks, eating a certain way, you know, making all the sacrifices, it deserves a level of respect for sure. But I mean, Jake Paul going from, you know, fighting basketball players and UFC players who kind of take a different level. It's like me being in the studio with a singer and then giving them credence for the ability to be able to rap. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, they're cousins, but it's a completely different trade. So to go from kind of these awkward fights where they're really well picked, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's a basketball player or another YouTuber or a retired UFC fighter or even a Mike Tyson, where you find somebody who's kind of medically, you know, past, they're unfit, you know what I mean, at the time, and you put them in the ring, you know what I'm saying, with him, and it is a level of respect, like, damn, that was pretty cool, but, you know, to get in there with Anthony Joshua is like, it just, again, like, you know, I get for the point of entertainment, so, you know, but it probably shouldn't be able to happen. That's a bad idea.
Yeah.
I think entertainment has gone too far. I mean, it is more of a spectacle than it is, you know, an actual art of boxing. I mean, I grew up watching Mike Tyson fight. I grew up watching, you know, I grew up watching boxing when boxing was boxing, you know, and they were real fights, and they were, you know, they were powerhouses, and, you know, they respected the sport. They respected each other, you know, in the sport. And I feel like Jake Paul really has kind of ruined that.
He never earned his way to Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because before you can fight Mike Tyson, you got to fight a bunch of other people to earn your keep. He never did that.
Yeah.
He just go.
Yeah. Well, and then this fight, I can't imagine he's not going to get his ass whooped. I mean, I can't. I mean,
he might pay it off. So
yeah.
And it'll be a well-watched contest. It's a level of great business because Anthony Joshua is like a first ballot Hall of Famer right now. You know, an international star. You know, somebody who isn't, you know, they're still in the prime of their fighting career because it's somebody who started fighting late into their lives. It's not like one of those guys who started professionally boxing, or just boxing in general at 7 years old. This guy picks up boxing at 18 years old. So, you know, to be in boxing 18 years, you know, some of it amateur career, Olympic stuff, and then you go pro, it's like he's smack dead in the middle of it. So I would imagine, you know, Jake Paul's team see ways and, you know, how that they can compete. And don't get me wrong, I saw Anthony Joshua in some contest with some shorter other world-class boxers, you know what I mean? And, you know, Andy Ruiz, who's from here, you know what I mean? He can make it tough, but he's Andy Ruiz, you know, fastest hands for a heavyweight in boxing, a great puncher. You know, he's been boxing since he was a little kid, you know what I mean? And that's the kind of fighter, Usyk, you know, he's not been fighting for 20, 30 years. And it's like, I don't know, you know what I mean? I just, all it makes me think of is the old movies I used to watch growing up where television, where the ideas took place, the movies took place in the future, and it'll always be like a TV show where people are dying for entertainment.
Yeah,
that's true.
My mom, I'm thinking like, I see, don't get me wrong, I see some of the things, there's a weight restriction of 245 pounds, right? It's like, okay, Anthony Joshua doesn't usually get that low. He's had fights that go that low, so he is 36, so to get him under 245, that probably could be a challenge at 36. 8 rounds. I would imagine it's a bigger ring. There's some things, but you don't just get in with a gold medalist or 2 or 3 time heavyweight champion, first ballot Hall of Fame. You don't go from fighting the people you are fighting to this kind of person.
That's what I'm saying.
If you wanted me to take it serious, there's a Jared Anderson. There's some pretty good fighters that Deontay Wilder. You know what I mean? Yeah. And Deontay Wilder is a lot. So it's just a level of like, you could take some fighters, maybe the rank number 23rd, heavyweight fighter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then if you go to 15, okay, then you get a shot, voluntary. But you don't go from fighting that class of fighters, you know what I mean, and retired guys to like this.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? For it just seems pretty ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, like Rodney said, he hasn't gone in the conventional way, and I think that's why I don't have a lot of respect for him. I mean, it's entertaining, but I don't know that I respect him. I'm not saying he's not a decent fighter, but I am saying that he did not go about it the conventional way, which allows you to build that respect.
It allows you to build,
right, exactly.
It prepares you for these opportunities.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not just for our entertainment's sake, it's for your own personal sake of preparing you against guys who can hit you more, guys that can make you miss more.
Yes.
Preparing you for...
But you know what, though? He needs to get his ass whooped really bad. No, seriously, like sometimes you think you're Billy Badass. When you meet Billy Badass, he whoop that ass. And you be like, oops, I'm good in that. I'm telling you, man.
Teach him a little humility.
Drago said it, Rocky. If he dies, he dies. You want to die on Netflix for money, like Netflix is going to allow it, and everybody's going to allow it. And for some reason, people think it's cool because there's money involved, and anything is cool. It just shows you where society is kind of, as much as it feels like it's growing morally and tightening up, it's getting actually ridiculous.
It is. It is. That's why, I go back to my first thing. Like, entertainment has just gotten out of control in my mind. I mean, it's just the things that people are willing to do for $1 are like, they're outrageous. Yeah.
This is where we are.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but that's where we are. Yeah.
Well, hey, thanks for agreeing to meet with us, to talk to us today. We appreciate it. Yeah.
So that's an honor, man. Reg said good things about you. Reg is somebody who's gave me $1 million advice in the music business, man. So good people link you with decent people.
Yeah. We really like Reg. He's been
He's a good dude. We tried to build this channel, man. So that's why we are, man.
Yeah.
Not a good person. For some reason, people think I'm crazy, so it works out.
No, you're good, man. You're good. Speaking of that, man. So lately, Vlad has been putting a lot of video out about you. How did you guys meet to begin with?
DJ Vlad was somebody I met on Brazil Street.
Okay.
So when the game was rising, Brazil Street is the home of Black Wall Street. This is the Game, Big Face, and G-Rod's first recording label.
Right.
And it was smack dead in the center of their neighborhood, in their community, where they're from. A street called Brazil Street off of Wilmington. And Vlad came over there. Now, I hadn't really heard of Vlad quite yet because I wasn't in on the music scene enough to listen to a mixtape from somebody. But when I met him, I got aware really fast. You know what I mean? Like he was somebody from the Bay Area that was DJing and making mixtapes. He was pretty prominent in that scene. If we have a prominent mixtape scene, we don't have a huge prominent mixtape scene, but he is one of those guys. DJ Ski, Vlad, Warrior, Mick Bean, and there were a few guys that were making noise, and Vlad was one of the guys.
Okay.
So I met him with a Game. When Game first met him, we met him together.
Okay. How many years ago was that then? That was
2004.
Okay. Yeah, that was a while ago.
Maybe 2005.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, did you tell him that you were, at some point in time in your relationship, did you kind of portray yourself as, a big time gang member, or, because he said you even took him around the area and stuff.
I mean, I think it was kind of well documented that I was somewhat of a popular gang member at that point pursuing music.
Okay.
So when he was launching Glad TV. I mean, he hadn't even had probably 10 interviews. Like, he was still, I think he saw the scene on the East Coast with the DVDs, and he decided he was going to do his own thing. And it was a great compliment to his mixtapes. Yeah. So, he was like, hey, I want to do an interview. And I was like, okay, cool. And he was like, can I come to your neighborhood? I'm like, yeah, come on. You know what I mean? And he came and, he saw how we congregate. We probably out there just hanging out and watch 20 deep, 30 deep, doing the thing. And it was obvious, even being a Crip and being around Game and all of the power rules, it was a level of like obviousness to what I represented outside of my reputation before I met him.
Right.
So I think he knew at that point already that Glasses is a pretty well-known and respected Crip.
Okay, so now do you remember the night when he called you because he got into it with a girlfriend's husband or something?
I remember it like the back of my hand.
So what happened?
I mean, that's what the whole song Banned from Black TV is about.
Yeah, so what happened?
Yeah. So again, it's one of those situations where, like, I've heard his version of the story. An interviewer that walks around with a bodyguard, I think I just struggle to believe that people would believe that this person could beat somebody up naked that was strong enough to, they're ex-con from prison, they scaled a 2-story building, and they punch you through glass, and you beat that person within inches of their life while you were naked. But you were scared, so you called me to go get a wallet from the girl, right, that the guy that went to jail, you beat within inches of his life, that same night or the next, within hours, you know what I'm saying? You were scared that this person got out, but you beat within inches of their life. But the fact that somebody could believe that story is hilarious to me. I just find that hilarious. Like, people, if somebody believes Vlad, he's an interviewer that has a bodyguard.
Yeah.
It's like if Barbara Walters walked around with a bodyguard.
Right.
Or like, I met Jillian Barton a few times. She never had a bodyguard, so I don't think he would be the symbol of brave, in that regard. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if courage is the two things that go together versus, that. So when I tell the story, it's exactly how I remember it. It was somebody that, I was fond of. Like, I fucked with him. You know what I mean? He was doing this thing. Like, we didn't have this long-term relationship, but we were pretty cool and cordial. And it hit me, right, that he asked me that he was having a problem. He wouldn't be having a problem if he beat somebody up. So I'm going through my mind like, this would be a completely different story than I remember. Because at that time, you couldn't ask me to go anywhere in LA. Like, you met me hanging around 100 to 200 power rooms every day.
Right.
Like, that's how you met me.
Right.
So there's no neighborhood you could take me into in Los Angeles that would have had any, I would have thought twice, because where you met me at is around 200 power rooms. So being a Crip around a bunch of Bloods already kind of washes the concept that some girl that you were sleeping with and you beat her boyfriend within inches of his life, you would be scared to get him. That would put fear into my heart.
Right.
I don't know how, but, again, this is the internet and social media is different. People can create their own characters.
Yeah.
So I think I'm watching it happen in real time. You know what I mean? Somebody create a character that doesn't align with nothing that they are in real life, or align with what you could even believe about it.
Yeah. No, that makes
so
sense.
So that's why Banned from Black TV tells the whole story. It's like, this is exactly how it happened to the team.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't even like the story, honestly, in the story, I offered him. And he didn't want my help. He just wanted a pistol.
Yeah.
And I just was like, no.
Right.
I thought about it because, we were cool, but it's like, bro, you got enough money to buy a weapon. Like, why would you need a weapon from me?
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
It didn't feel right.
Well, and I mean, you gotta put you in, right. You gotta protect yourself. I mean, you can't just hand a weapon to somebody, that.
If you get caught, he gonna say, Glasses gave it to me.
Exactly.
But he said other thing too, right? He said after he beat the guy, the cop let him back in the apartment.
Right.
So if you went back in the apartment, why didn't you pick up your wallet and everything else you need from that apartment?
Yeah.
It just sounds crazy.
Like, to me, that's not a whole of that
I
story.
took my time and I listened to the story that he told. And I'm not gonna lie, man, I laughed so hard. Like all of us that know the real story that was around, because it wasn't like it was something, like I told everybody what happened instantly. So it's people that me and him know mutually, you know what I mean, that were around, and we just, you know, we get it. It's the internet. That's why I couldn't be mad at Vlad. I'm not gonna call him out of his name or nothing. It's, you know, this is the internet. So maybe he looked at the situation as me trying to shame him versus me really putting out an idea, trying to say, brother, why is you still tripping with me? You know what I mean? Like, and I know it's a problem. I know the stuff you're saying about me to other people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know kind of how, and it's not like saying you're insulting me, but you feel like you don't want to have nothing to do with me because you're still upset with me about this idea that saved your life.
Right.
Like, you be in prison for the rest of your life, you go use this weapon and hurt somebody. And I never thought he would say anything, because in my mind, I'm like, he's not humble enough, or you know, he doesn't practice enough humility to say, hey, you know what? I need to talk to this dude. You know, he really didn't do anything wrong to me, you know, because in my mind, that would have been the right thing to do. Like, you know what? G is somebody I considered a friend, and this was one of those moments that blah, blah, blah. But, you know, he's grown enough to understand why it makes sense not to give him a weapon.
Yeah.
I know he went past the age to where he knows better.
Right. Right.
So do you think Vlad is somewhat disrespecting the black community, even though like he's deep in it, right? Everything he does is black culture. But I think at some point too, sometimes he kind of forgot, like, dude, certain things you can do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do I think he's disrespecting the black culture? No, I think he's an avid fan of, and I don't want to just make this black. Like,
No.
hip hop and what he covers is street urban. Because he'll cover mafia members, you know, not just homies. He'll cover the arts from street urban people. He'll cover mafia members, anything related to a level of where crime shapes the culture. So do I think he disrespects it? No, I think it's a group of guys that have came in that are fans of it, and they mask themselves as media, right? And the truth is, they're really storytellers. They're really filmmakers. You know what I mean? And in Vlad's situation, he makes films through these interviews. And it doesn't seem like a film today because, you know, when you think of films, you think of setup shots and scenes, and that's not, a film is a way to tell a story. You know what I mean? And Vlad creates these conversations in these films with people. You know what I mean? They're these hour-and-a-half long films. And he breaks them up and delivers them on YouTube. But I remember looking at the Marlon Wayans whole conflict with him, and damn, I'm like, damn, Marlon asked him for, you know, this kind of money and a percentage, until it hit me that, no, you're asking Marlon Wayans to make a film.
Yeah.
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 And Marlon Wayans wouldn't make a film for anybody for $40,000 or $30,000, and, you know, 25 or 30, whatever their numbers were, it would cost you way more.
Right.
But he also understands YouTube doesn't gross the kind of money that he can ask Hollywood for.
Right.
And really the situation with Vlad and Marlon Wayans made me realize every time someone sits down with him, they're making a film with him. Yeah. These are films, and he owns them in perpetuity. You know what I mean? So I don't think he's disrespecting it. I think there's some things that people don't like, and, you know, people feel like that. That's cool. To me, I feel like he's a fan. He's a fanatic of the life. And so, you know, again, if you let somebody not involved in the life talk to you about the life, some of the things is going to probably come across a little callous and goofy. You know what I mean? I think Vlad kind of falls victim to that, at least early on, a lot more. Now I think he's kind of starting to figure it out, but he's also understanding entertainment more, which is kind of why he would entertain somebody with a complete ridiculous story about him beating an ex-con up that was strong enough to scale a 2-story building and punching through glass while he was butt naked.
Right. No, that is crazy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd be shooting around you like a Greek warrior, and you walked out and the police were there, and they carried this man, they had to go in and carry his limp body out, and you were scared? Like,
no, that's a
you got a bodyguard. Brother.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Like, you got a bodyguard, like, right now.
Right.
You're like Jillian Barbie with a bodyguard.
Yeah. I will say this though. Okay, so he just had another interview with Ari Spears, and they had a big argument about, because Vlad kept saying that he had the best rhythm. He had more rhythm than most of Black population, basically, is what he said. And I'm like, so I mean, I hear what you say about like things that he said in the past, like he knows better now, but he's still doing it. Like to me, that's really. Like I'm a white woman, you know, interviewing, you know, Black culture too, and so I know where I stand. I know what I can and cannot say. I know what I can and you know, like there are certain.
Vlad doesn't have that much rhythm.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Maybe you need to challenge Chris Brown to a dance off so we can see this with him.
Well, yeah,
he got 2 left foot.
I don't know. You know what I mean? I never saw him dance, you know what I mean?
Right.
I never saw him moving the music, so I'd probably be the person, but he definitely doesn't.
So he said because he was a DJ, that's why he has more rhythm. To me, being a DJ doesn't have anything to do with it.
No, I mean, unless you're a drummer. I don't know. I mean, I get it that you know, you put music together, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I think it's just very thoughtless of a white male, Russian male, whatever. Like, saying something like that, especially to a Black man,
but my issue with Vlad,
interviewing Black culture. I just think
I could imagine. It's funny because I could imagine Ari's face.
Oh,
like I could imagine because Ari's funny as shit. So I could imagine.
Ari's
he was pissed. Yeah, he was.
I know Lord Jamar somewhere like he can't help it, man. It's a real complex, man. It's a real complex for him.
But the thing is that every time Vlad got mad at somebody, he tell them what he used to do for you. Look at Godfrey.
Yeah.
He got pissed with Godfrey. Now he said, well, I used to feed you. You used to come to my house. I used to buy you things. To me, like, if we're not friends no more, that's cool, man. You go your way, I go my way. I don't have to tell you I'll give you some money.
Right. Yeah.
That's petty.
Yeah.
Man, listen. Maybe he's a modern day Bob Fosse. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, maybe he's like, it's whichever brother could dance, whichever man. I don't know. I don't know. I never saw it, so I ain't gonna just go into disbelief,
Yeah.
But, strange things have happened.
Yeah.
So, would you ever go back to Vlad TV again if he invite you?
I mean, probably so. I mean, maybe once.
Okay.
Maybe once just to have this conversation.
Yeah.
But honestly, I don't. Once I made that song, I knew that was gonna pretty much be the nail in the coffin. We would never. Don't get me wrong. I could have made a lot of different efforts to get with him. It's not hard to find him, so I could find him and pop up on him and work it out. But it was more artistic and better this way. So I kind of made a commitment. But again, it's not like I'm upset with him. You know what I mean? More or less, it's more like I didn't get why the hell you mad at me for doing something that saved your freedom.
Right.
You know what though? Vlad is about money. If Vlad know he can make some money of that, trust me, he's gonna call him.
Yeah, I mean, because he keeps talking about it too. Like, I mean, I don't understand why he keeps talking about it. Like, let it rest. Yeah.
Shout out to everybody who told me that. I said, man, I know Vlad. Vlad ain't finna, he's not gonna give me that, and he is, So I'm grateful, because for a while, for about, I don't know, 10 years, 12 years, people would bring up my name, he'd act like it didn't matter. You know what I mean? It just kind of had a weird way of making, like, damn, like and telling people that's our mutual friends, like, I'm not fucking with Glasses, ever since that shit happened, and, he didn't give me the gun, and all of that. So, it works the same way for me, and again, I refuse to be. It's hard for me to take it serious or like respond seriously because it's like, brother, you are not beating any fucking body up.
Right.
Come on, like, I heard it the first thing, and then I seen he did an interview with Wack, and I just won't even watch it because it's like, I can't take this ridiculousness. Like, come on, dude, you're not beating nobody up. Fool, that's not your stat. You ain't beat. Like, I watch you get punched out, You know what I mean? Like, you're not that kind of guy. And it's obvious. That's why you're a guy that interviews people and you have a bodyguard.
Yeah.
Like, you are scared of your own shadow. And, like, you're not that kind of guy. That's not to say you're not a punk. You're not going to let nobody take anything from you. But you are not the kind of person that's going to beat up a black ex-con that's scared of a 2-story building and strong enough to punch you through a patio door. That don't work for me.
Yeah.
That's hard to believe.
Yeah,
That's hard to believe. Yeah.
That is, yeah.
That's it. You know what I mean? The story could have been. It was a great story. I mean, it was like a superhero story, and then he just turned back into Clark Kent. Like, I'm like, well, why you wasn't Superman the whole time? You called the Crips to, try to, or at least from your story, you called the Crips. You were scared to meet the she was just sleeping with, and you beat up her ex-con boyfriend who was strong enough to scale a 2-story building that punched you through glass, and you were scared to go get your wallet.
Right. Yeah.
That just don't even make sense.
Yeah.
If people believe it, I can't, shit. The internet is hard, man. I'm telling you, I realized this. All these people get the opportunity to tell fibs and make up who they were.
That's true.
The only difference with them is I'm who I am every day outside, and everybody knows it.
Yeah.
There's no question. He can act like he don't know. Everybody, he can act like he don't know. They know who I am.
Yeah.
This is all the time. All the time. It don't matter what's happening. This is all the time. So I accept the role. I ask for it, so I can accept, what I get back. I can get it.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, so listen, let's change gear a little bit. So you had a song called Tupac Must Die.
Yeah.
Listen, as a Tupac diehard fan, when I heard that song, I'm like, this nigga crazy.
It looked crazy.
Yeah.
It didn't sound crazy, but it looked crazy.
Listen, but after I watch it, I'm like, oh, okay, so he made it to Orlando's eyes, point of view. You know what I mean? That's what I'm taking from it. My thing is, why did you make that song?
At that time, I was starting to really understand what hip hop was. Like, you hear a lot of people scream they understand hip hop or they was raised hip hop because they listen to rap songs. Well, I grew up listening to rap songs as well and hip hop songs. But if I emulate LL Cool J, that's not hip hop.
Yeah.
That's me wearing a costume. If I emulate Fat Boys, shout out, rest in peace to Buff and Mark. If I emulate them, I'm not being hip hop. I'm actually kind of biting. If I emulate, these people I grew up listening to, Kane, NWA, Rakim, KRS-One, Snoop Dogg, Ice-T, Dr. Dre, Wu-Tang, Nas, Jay-Z. If I emulate them, I'm not being hip hop. So I kind of knew that already. Scarface is my favorite in the world. He knows. So it's like, I can't emulate him.
Right.
So I didn't really felt like I understood what being hip hop was. Now that don't mean I couldn't rap or I couldn't articulate my story, but at that time I really got a grasp on it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I knew at that point what would work for me in hip hop is me giving you this cultural take on a popular situation from the perspective that I'm familiar with. I grew up being a Crip. Like, even before I was put on a gang, I was a Crip. I grew up in Crip neighborhoods. My older homie was Crip. Everybody around me always was a Crip. So I know how Crips think. I know how Crips see the world. If there are like-minded ideas, because again, every person is an individual. But, if there are some like-minded cultural things, morality is one of those things where it's like, we're not going to go for you doing things to us and letting you get away with it. So to me, it just made a good point, with Tupac. Now it was time to make a good point about this is how we see the world. And I knew I could give the world a sneak peek's mind into our culture and how we grow up and how we think. So in my mind, it was like this brilliant idea of showcasing street urban culture from a Crip's perspective in morality. To everybody else, it was like, oh man, Tupac could have beat up my dad and I wouldn't have cared. And it's like, well, we don't grow up that way. We don't grow up believing if you kick the shit out of our friend, it's okay. We don't care what you did in this life. No man is up the program is like the greatest lesson in that story.
Yeah. So do you think, because, you did receive a lot of hate after that song, do you think that people understood the meaning behind it, or do you think that people kind of misunderstood where you were coming from and just saw the Tupac, image? You know what I mean? Like,
That's it.
I mean, just because we've just had an interview with Jeff Pearlman, who wrote the book, about Tupac, and we got some hate on our page too.
Jeff
because
is my God, man. Such a good dude.
Yeah.
Jeff is an awesome dude, man.
But I'm just saying, like, so when you put something out there about Tupac that isn't in the conventional, kind of atmosphere, do you think that people kind of just misunderstood your meaning?
Part of the reason I decided to do it is because I realized Tupac rose from out of our, street urban culture and just black people in general to a deity.
Right.
Like I already see Pac as a deity. I watched it happen with my friend, one of my friends in Nipsey Hussle. You know what I mean? I'm watching his brand slowly rise into a deity.
Yeah.
So he no longer belongs to me and people just from LA and Crips who knew him or are proud of him. He's becoming he's becoming property of the world. People are going to live their life by his teachings.
Right.
And no different than Jesus.
Yeah.
So at that time, I knew that there was going to be some backlash, but I knew it wouldn't have no real credence because it's like, everybody loves a dead black man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If Tupac was getting this much love alive, again, this is one of those moments where he probably wouldn't, been in that situation.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have to make such, dire sacrifices and commitments to expression, just to get, on top of the game. So it's like, I knew most of these people felt how they felt, but I knew most of them, even if my intent was to be insulting, it's not nothing too many people can do or going to do.
Yeah.
You got to really tap into people who people care about. Something that's real. And unfortunately, deities, they don't get protection. It's 100 rappers that diss Jesus every day, but it's 1 billion people that pray to Jesus.
Yeah.
And people get mad at me because I won't even mess with the rappers that diss Jesus.
Right.
Like these rappers that have 666 and talk about Satan and turn crosses upside down. People still function with those people.
Right.
You know what I mean? They still have fans. I want to beat up their fans and the rapper. So, but that's part of also being a Crip and being committed to things that oppose me and coming at that with force. So most people, even if I understood most people wasn't going to understand it, most people ain't going to, squash a grape at a winery. It ain't gonna happen.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Yeah. So, okay, as a guy who's a Crip from LA, did you know any of the guys from the Cadillac, like Orlando, Keefe, or
Yeah, I heard the story specifically from Big Dre or Freaky. We used to call him Freaky Dre, but Dre's mouth. Dre is one of the brothers that was in the situation. He passed away a while ago. He actually booked me for my 3rd paying show ever.
Okay.
But I knew him. He's a little older than me. Baby Lane, all of those guys were older than me.
Right.
But my mom knew QVD that's locked up, so I knew who he was already. We had already crossed paths. Dre was my man, and I know a lot of people out their community. My mom, before she passed away, went to prison. She owned a house in their community as well. So not only did I grow up in the vicinity and knowing people over there my whole life, but some of them are my friends. One of them is responsible for me changing my life, Wavy. It's Black and Wavy and different people, Martell, guys from that neighborhood and that community in general, that made it possible for me not to have to have drugs anymore.
Yeah.
There's so many people I know from that community, Little Ira, a bunch of people. I've known them growing up, and I knew them after, it happened.
So, when Dre came back to LA, what did he tell you from his point of view?
Say that again?
Dre, when he came back to LA, what did he tell you? What happened from his perspective?
It wasn't like when he came right back, right? It was like later on in time.
Okay.
Like I just asked him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't like he was forthcoming with information. Like, let me tell you about this happened. He was like, hey, man, what really happened with y'all? I just wanted to know, like, I'm a Crip from the area, I grew up in the same vicinity and we know each other and, you helping me, like there's a relationship. And I just wanted to know, hell, when I met Jimi Hendrix, not Jimi Hendrix, but Jimi Henchman, right? Like I asked him about what happened with Tupac in his situation.
And
I don't live my life in that belief of like, you know, I heard your name is something that I'm interested in, and I'm not gonna ask you.
No,
you know, I don't need a microphone, I don't need a camera. I asked Jimmy History what happened with him and Pac on Brazil. You know what I mean? And you know, these people will tell you that's just how I am. Like I'm very, if I want to know something, I'll ask you.
So now, what did Henchman tell you?
So that's a whole different story. He did tell me that he did not, you know, shoot Pac or want Pac shot. Okay. That's something he told me. Huh. And nobody liked how that happened, including him.
Okay, because even his family member think Jimmy was behind the shooting. They say Jimmy didn't do it. Dexter Isaac did it, but they say Jimmy was the mastermind.
So I've seen all the YouTube videos, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's a much more nuanced situation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I don't know why those facts haven't came out. I mean, they have came out, but people never really paid attention.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I think if you start looking at where Pac got shot at, you know what I mean, and a couple things, it will start to make sense. Even the reason why people just, it's so many things that haven't came out. And don't get me wrong, like I don't mind talking about this, but I definitely don't like to be the first person to express an idea that's like a criminal case. Because this is a criminal situation. So, and nobody went to jail for it. So it's like, you know, I ain't gonna blow nobody cover, but it was much more complicated. And it's you just got to do some more homework. Because a lot of information is out there. You know what I mean? But I'll tell you one thing. The true motive of why all of this took place is not out. I have never seen that publicly from what Jimmy put.
Okay.
Even Jack, shout out to Asian Jack. You know what I mean? These are dudes that I met early and you know what I mean, looked out for me just because I was in the street. And they've always been forthcoming. And I'll be honest, man, you can see they have a genuine love for him. Like that was not, both of them dudes didn't really have this thing that I would imagine. Like when, you know, obviously when I heard Against All Odds, like shit, fuck these niggas, you know, they fucked over my boy, you know what I mean? But when I met him, I could see how, you know, again, just like in any other street situation, simple things go wrong and create massive problems.
That's true.
And that's a simple thing that kind of only created a massive problem.
That's wild, man.
Yeah. So, okay, just staying on Pac a little bit. So you just said you like Jeff Pearlman. Did you read the book that he wrote?
I read.
Yeah? What do you think? What?
I linked Jeff with some people and different people.
Okay.
And Jeff is like one of my favorite writers, one of my favorite authors.
He's really good, man. We had him on the channel, and I have the book. I read it. It's a good book. I mean, it's
fantastic.
It's a good book, but again, I'm a diehard Tupac fan, and I can see some of these things happening. But some other Tupac fans claim none of this happened. I'm not.
Yeah, the crazy part is Jeff shit is built on research.
Yeah.
He's not like a guy of fiction.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, again, Tupac has reached deity status. You know what I mean? He's been deity status probably at this point, you know, 20 years.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, nobody could imagine anything that's not favorable in their mind that's favorable. Because to me, even all of the stories I heard, I don't really see anything that makes me less of a fan of Tupac.
Thank you.
That's what we said.
Me, like, feel like, damn, he was a regular guy. I mean, like, going through it. And it makes me bond with him more and connect with him more. So, for the average person, they need to see Jesus as somebody who, you know, never had a wife, never, you know, they need to see it that way for them to truly follow. I'm starting to believe, like that's what the Council of Nicaea understood. You know what I mean? Like Jeff Pearlman, you know, when he wrote his book, like imagine if like somebody knew Jesus was unthought out and they were just telling us about Jesus, like, hey, why are y'all talking about Jesus like that? And they just start breaking down how, you know, them and Jesus was chilling and, you know, Jesus was married to this lady and, you know, you start hearing all of these things that, you know, to me, it would make my experience living better. You know what I mean? Like, damn, okay, like I have to keep persevering. Every time I see greatness, like, and I realize how human it is, it lets me know that I just lack discipline and knowledge. To some people, they need to separate themselves. You know, they need humans, they need the people they worship to be up here just because they're naturally better and they need to stay down here versus me. I'm like, damn, when I understood Michael Jackson greatness, I understood how much discipline and training went into it.
Right.
Yeah.
And then like I study and I see certain things and it makes me realize that if I too practice discipline and work my tail off, there's an opportunity for me to be as great as I can.
Yeah.
For other people, it makes them pull Michael Jackson. They're like, oh, I thought he was special.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Pop. So reading Jeff's book, it takes Pop from, you know, deity to man. And that is not something, you know, people want. They do not want a man. They want something to worship, to live their life for.
No, you're very right. You're very right. But I agree with you. I mean,
we got it.
Yeah, when we read it, it was like, I'm like, wow. I mean, it just makes him such a better artist in my mind because he came from this background that is just, you know, I mean, we always knew he didn't come from the best background, but like the way that he broke it down, I didn't realize that, you know, he was sometimes a smelly kid in class, you know, who, you know, only had 2 shirts to wear, you know, like, I didn't know it was that bad.
Like,
I didn't know it was
people think he was lying when he was talking about he was poor.
Right.
This man has told us he was poor.
Yes.
No, Glasses, I knew he was poor, but I didn't know he was this poor.
Yeah.
I mean, he was poor.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, I'm from Haiti, a third world country. I had more than he had. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm like,
No, like, it validates his raps.
It does. I mean, just to see, and when you talk about, like, you know, he, at the end of his life, you know, he didn't have as much money as people thought he should have, you know, but it's like he grew up without any knowledge, without any person showing him how to have a bank account, how to manage money, how to, you know, how to deal with paying.
Out of jail, right? People forget, like, he got shot because he needed money.
Yeah.
He was going to the studio. Like, he already knew there was a problem.
Yeah.
So, now, this is something I can't say without putting these people's business out. He knew it was a problem already with him being in New York. He knew that he had a problem with somebody he didn't do right by them. They knew they had a circumstances. But he needed the money for the feature on the verse.
Yeah.
Like, so when he goes to jail, like, it's not like he was in the greatest of economic spaces.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's obvious if you pay attention to that.
Yeah.
Right? It's obvious. Right? And then moving forward to when he gets out of jail to having everything he's ever wanted. He had more money than he ever wanted. Yes, he's going to fix things for his family, his friends, his partners. He gonna do every check, you know, and Suge plus paying him. You know what I mean? Suge was giving him $100,000 a month, $200,000, and all of this stuff. But man, listen, just like a $3,000 a month person that can make $150,000, y'all both can live check to check.
Yeah.
You don't know how to manage economics.
Right.
Because based on the book, man, all his family was having their hand out to him. He was a cash cow of the family.
Oh yeah.
So his money go to everybody.
Yeah. No, he was trying to. Yeah, he was trying to get everybody a better place, a better life, a better.
To help everybody. So, and to me, that people get mad about that, but I'm like, y'all don't see it the way I see it. I see it like a man doing his best for all his people.
Yes.
Like, soon as he got it, he was like, I don't even care about keeping it. I'm gonna make sure everybody cool. I'm gonna do right by everybody, mom, family, as many people as I can that's been down with me.
Right.
I'm gonna do the best I can. I'm gonna fix my life. I'm gonna try to get it right because he just came out of prison. So I don't know, man. People need their deities perfect, spotless. You know, they need it that way. They don't know how to exist with somebody else that's a human and worthy of praise because of sacrifices, because of misfortune, and because of, discipline. They don't know how to appreciate that. Because then it puts too much of the burden on them to be great.
Yeah.
It's easy when you can look at a basketball player that's 6'9", level. The only reason I ain't going to be 6'9" versus you look at somebody like, Steph Curry, who's a lot of men's sizes, but it was a different thing that was happening. It was a different discipline. It was a million things that he did. And it makes you realize like, wow. You know what I mean? Like, so I would imagine he has more haters than probably LeBron James. People can look at LeBron James and see like he's a different human being. This motherfucker 6'9" and dribble the ball like somebody 6'1".
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like, it's a different level of coordination. And you could always look up and be like, hey, like he's a giant. It's like, well, that's, I could have never been that. Instead of looking at Steph, who is just about your size, and he just kicks the shit out of himself for years and years. And he wasn't the best on his high school team. And he worked his butt off and he had to go to a second or third tier college. And, he kicked his butt. And then after leaving this school that never had made it to the tournament, the college tournament, still doesn't get in the top. He still end up, not in the top, 5 or some shit. I think it was like 6 to 15 or somewhere. And it's like that type of pressure on humans don't like it. So a lot of times when people are arguing with you, and I'll say this to you as y'all building our channel, remember people arguing with their own lack of discipline to get the greatest version of themselves. They don't even want to be great parents. People don't make sacrifices for their kids.
That's true.
You know what I mean? People want to have what they want now and everything they want in the future.
Yeah. So okay, this gonna sound crazy, right? You on the Breakfast Club talking to Pearlman, and you told him Snoop was bigger than Pac on Death Row.
Until he came to Death Row.
Yes. I mean, I give you that, but I think after All Eyes on Me, Pac became bigger.
I don't know if he becomes bigger. I think he becomes as big. I don't think there's a rapper breathing air that's bigger than Snoop Dogg, ever. I think Drake can only be as famous as Snoop. I think Kendrick can only be as famous as Snoop. I think Jay-Z can only be as... Snoop is one of the famous people walking the planet. Yeah. Not because he's talented at anything else besides rapping.
You really, besides rapping, because I think Snoop is one of the most famous people in the world. No, right, I agree with that. But I don't know that it's just because of rapping.
Okay, as a guy, listen, Tupac Mule is all over the world. Tupac Mule was in Haiti, was in Germany, and Africa, and South America, everywhere. After All Eyes on Me, after Tupac died, I'm telling you, like, he become global.
He's a deity. Yeah. He's like a deity. Now, once he passed away, it's different. Okay. Because now, like, he's ascended to places like Jesus.
Yeah.
Like, where it's like, it's no longer even a person, it's an idea for people. And that's the problem when you personalize an idea for people. When you make a person, because Tupac is an idea for people how they want to live their life. That's true. A lot of times they forget it's a person. Yeah. You know what I mean? They just see it as an idea. Like, so, when you put character, personal traits onto ideas, it's different. And a lot of people, Tupac shit is more or less younger people. Right. Like Jesus. Jesus, people wouldn't even take Jesus off the cross. Right. You would have thought, these billions of people love Jesus right now. How the hell did these people hang Jesus? Yeah. Like, imagine, like, they hung Jesus. Like, if it was as much love for him now as it was then, man, the whole fucking Rome would have went. You know what I mean? It'd have been riots. It'd have knocked this cross down, took him. It'd have been a fight against, the government. 1,000 things. So I don't think it's fair to compare anybody that has passed away, especially like Pac's, how tragic it was, and people connect to that type of tragic. I mean, the same thing happened with Charlie Kirk. Like, a tragedy connects people differently. Yeah. Like, it's almost, you see, they get to be human. Like, you make them human again. You know what I mean? So I think in real time, that conversation was about, like I always say, Cube was as famous as Tupac until All Eyes on Me. And I still think, honestly, Cube is probably pretty close. He's a really famous person. But I always say Cube was as famous as Tupac, all the way until he passed away. Ice Cube is really, really famous, and it kind of doesn't seem that way because he's just a man right now walking and living in his life, and you don't really pay attention to how famous he is. Snoop is kind of, you can see how famous Snoop is. Like,
Snoop is going
to Olympics and shit. He's in commercials for every country. You know what I mean? But Cube is like, a different type of phenomenon. So I think that was the conversation. Cube was as famous as that, and Snoop was even more. Snoop pretty much became the like famous, like his rise was different, and he's just been rising. His fame has just been rising ever since.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
Even in the 90s, Snoop was fighting a murder case, but your grandma still love him. I'm serious,
yeah.
seriously. Like,
Yeah. No, he's always been lovable.
yeah,
I mean,
he's the guy everybody loves.
Yeah, yeah.
And people talk shit about him. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Oh, I know.
People talk shit about Jesus.
Yeah.
People talk shit about, Muhammad. People talk shit about Listen, you're not finna live this life and be great, and people talking shit about you. You're not. You know what I mean? That's just how it goes. You're not gonna be great. You're not gonna be overtly impactful, and people not have a negative opinion. Some people not gonna have a negative opinion.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts about how Snoop has taken over Death Row Records and like the new artists that he's been signing? Because I know I've seen some people, kind of not being as favorable. Like he took on, I can't remember his name, but is he's from he just won from The Voice. He won a season, but he's not a rapper. He's not a hip hop artist. He's more of a pop artist. So he's taking on some different types of, it's not, conventional rap artists that he's signing to Death Row. What are your thoughts on that?
It's funny, and Snoop probably would, cuss me out, but he's fulfilling the desires that Suge had for Death Row, whether he's doing it with intentions or not. Okay. Suge always saw, Dre and Suge always saw a version of Motown. They wanted to have a really big R&B thing. Mm-hmm. That's why they were, helping Casey and JoJo and all of these people. They wanted access. They had Danny Boy signed. They had Jewels. They had all kind of R&B acts, but rap took off so fast and so dominant that, in their situation, even coming to get Pac out of prison and Pac blowing up, they never really got a chance to focus on the R&B side of what they wanted Death Row to be. Okay. And, Snoop to me at this point is doing a really good job of continuing Death Row's legacy as far as with the acts, right? He has a new Dog Pound album. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Daz who just dropped a new album. Make sure y'all go check it out. The East Siders, he did some stuff with Danny Boy. Like he's trying to stay tapped in with the heritage history of. But he's also doing these really fantastic things with the R&B side, right? The Jane Hancocks, the young brother that sound like Marvin Gaye, which is somebody I talked to. I don't know why I forgot his name. He got a bunch of really dope, vintage, classic sounding rhythm and blues artists. And I think that's where his ear for it is out of this world for that. Okay. You know what I mean? And I think for the rap side, I think he signed D Smoke, which was a solid signing because D Smoke from Inglewood is this amazing talent. He won the show on Netflix. Mm-hmm. But man, what he's doing with R&B is really dope. You know what I mean? Like, it's like kind of what Nas is doing with, Mass Appeal. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's a home for vintage legacy hip hop acts. So, I'm proud of both of them dudes. I'm proud of the stuff Snoop is doing, especially for filling that R&B, promise with Death Row. You know what I mean? That's big to me. I would like to see that continue on further. I would like, them to keep putting on for R&B in a really great way. And, if they want to sign hip hop, it's Snoop Dogg. I'm sure it'll be just fine. It has a rich history in hip hop. But man, building the legacy in R&B is really dope for them to me.
Okay.
So if Snoop reach out to you, would you sign with Death Row?
Me?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure I could do something with him. You know what I mean? I think I might be past the window of being signed to somebody as far as like I'm to me, like my personal opinion, and this is me talking to Snoop, I'm somebody he looks to keep trying to figure out how are we going to, keep going further in the business. A legend, a first Battle Hall of Famer, all-time great like Snoop is looking to see what I think should happen next. Mm-hmm. I think Dre, I think Cube, in my mind, maybe, I got main character syndrome, you know what I'm saying? I could be fucked up, but I could tell that they're looking at me, as much as they're looking at a Kendrick to say what should we be doing next. Like what's the next thing? I mean, obviously Kendrick shit is a million times bigger, but they're looking at me to figure it out. Everybody's like, Glasses gonna figure it out. Hell, Jay-Z is somewhere like his G gonna figure it out because everybody knows my promise. You know, everybody knows my potential and promise. So, they're so I don't know if that if still say, man, I got it. You know, Glasses, I finally, you know, I'm gonna get you through there. You know, you're not gonna just have a gold single anymore. You gonna have I got how we gonna make you have a gold album. Hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's on me at this point. You know, shout out to Birdman, Mac 10, Slam, Wayne, you know, people that signed me. It's up to me now to how am I going to wow the world? And it's on me to finish it, you know what I mean, and make it make sense. And I'm okay with that too. You know what I mean? I'm okay with that more than ever before.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
So, okay, speaking of Kendrick, how did you feel about the whole Kendrick and Drake thing? I know that's old, but it's our first time talking.
I mean, my boy, I've been on Doc since he was a kid. He came through, put the smack down, you know what I mean, on that jabroni, and it is what it is, you know, and I was really proud of him, you know what I mean. I'm impressed. You know, he put out to me his best album. Right. He has a really great chance to win the biggest category at the Grammys. You know, last year he won 5 Grammys for one song. I think only a Fifth Dimension record has ever done that. I just watch him make history. I'm impressed, you know what I mean? And I'm so enamored at what he's been able to do, you know, over the last 18 months. So,
no, Kendrick was.
Man, it was something to see.
Yeah, I mean,
Kendrick. He had to sue Kendrick.
Yeah, and I mean, the Super Bowl, to be able to, like, you know, you have an entire arena singing your songs, like, that's, I mean, I can't imagine that feeling.
Drake was under the bed that night. He was in the field position.
Right.
You know what? Listen, it was tough. You know, it's been a tough few years, but you know what, man? It can't all be sunshine,
right?
Even if you drink. You know, it's been all sunshine for him in his business, you know, since he came into it, and well deserved. He was prepared for the moment.
Yeah.
But my thing is that as far
I think he zigged when he should have zagged.
Yeah.
That's exactly true. I think so too. I mean,
zigged, he should have zagged.
Yeah.
I think as a rapper, he's over.
Yeah.
I mean, he can make R&B song. But as a street rapper, I think Drake is over.
Yeah.
And the fact that he even had access to that in the first place kind of is the biggest problem.
That's my thing. I feel like Drake he should have stayed in the lane that he was in. I mean, you know, he's a great singer. He's a pop artist more than, I mean, R&B pop artist kind of, you know, that's the lane he should have stayed in. He was great there. Girls loved him. You know, like he was so popular. I like girls. Anyways,
he's a tremendous MC.
Yeah. But
once you start participating, you start talking that cultural stuff that you know.
Stay in your lane.
You come playing with the boys. You know what I mean? It get bad, and he played with the wrong one. And I always think, I was like, he didn't think he was one of the boys. I think people see Kendrick as this backpacker, you know, nerdy kid. Like, that is not him.
Right.
I don't know who the fuck y'all. I mean, fuck these other albums. That is not him.
Yeah.
That nerdy shit that y'all think is happening.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all listening to the shit he's saying, but he's not this little nerdy geeky kid. Don't confuse his humility and kind nature with he's like this. He's a fucking animal, you know what I mean? And, you know, homie found out the hard way. You know what I mean? It happens sometimes.
We all find out.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how you would not think that though with, I mean, the people that Kendrick has performed with and come up with in his, you know, in his career too. Like, you know, he's come up with some great artists, and
listen,
you know,
I would say anybody from LA has some talk in them.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, like, I mean, you cannot from LA and be punked out. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I mean, and he's not even just like the traditional guy that was raised in LA. He was raised in the culture.
Yeah.
I've been a little street dude since I met him. You know what I mean? And I just don't know how that slipped by the way. I don't know how that fell by the wayside.
Right.
You know what I mean? Somehow during the time the last 12, 13 years, it was like a confusion on who this dude was. And,
Yeah.
you know, the world, you know, And his fans found out they found out the hard way.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
fuck with
No,
Kendrick,
I
man.
agree.
Okay, so listen, man. I read somewhere that your mom was sentenced to 20 years in prison. What happened?
20 years in
Yeah.
prison.
What did she
She
do?
got caught with drugs.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Yeah, she was taking some drugs in Philadelphia to sell some drugs. 10 kilograms of cocaine and 7 gallons of PCP. And, she got caught on the 40 freeway in Oklahoma. Person she was riding with was smoking weed, and they kind of was swerving and dozing off. They were driving. My mom was sleeping. She woke up to it.
Okay.
But she was accountable. She didn't just place the blame on the dude, and the other dude actually, the guy snitched. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, that's how it goes, when you're living the life.
Yeah. So, how old were you when she went in that last time?
24.
Okay.
24. Okay.
So, how did that change your life? I mean, at that point.
How did it change my life? There's a part of me that didn't feel as strong as I should have been. Like, I was just getting out of the streets myself and pursuing, rap as a career. Mm-hmm. And there's a regret part where, maybe if I would have went to school and became a pharmacist, I would have had enough money saved up to try to bail her out or hire the greatest attorney. She had a good attorney, but not the best one. Mm-hmm. Maybe if I would have went different ways. So there's a level of like self-blame where it's like, damn, I wasn't strong enough to fix the problem. In those days, every day, she died in 2010.
Right.
In prison. So every day, there's so many days I wake up and, it's a level of just pure sadness that I can't talk to her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, right now she'd be home. She'd have been home probably, 7 years ago.
Yeah.
But how it's changed me moving forward is I stopped taking people for granted.
Yeah.
That was the last person, that was one of the main people that I didn't take her presence. I didn't understand that it was on this borrowed time. I thought I would have my mother till I was 60 years old.
Yeah.
Maybe 70 years old, to not have her, and then my history wouldn't allow me to go visit her. They wouldn't let me see her. So all I had was a phone conversation. So, the last time I saw my mom, was, I was 24. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And then, it was time to bury her. So the way it's changed me is, I refuse to take other people for granted. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to have everybody in life. And you got to be prepared because, somebody might not be here tomorrow.
Yeah.
So what happened to her inside? Was she sick?
It's funny because that Dublin got closed down because of mistreatment of prisoners.
Wow.
So, she ended up getting sick and she had a cardiac arrest, but, I've met prisoners that was doing time with my mom and they said the prison mishandled her situation.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And now Dublin, the prison, I think, if I remember correctly, I think it got shut down for how they were treating prisoners.
Mm.
Can you sue them?
I could, and this is gonna sound crazy, but I think that's what my mom wanted me to do.
You should, man. You should sue them. Hey.
I don't know if money will make me feel better, but it might make them feel worse. So
yeah. I mean, that's sometimes
pay me for my pen.
Yeah. Sometimes it's not so much about the money, but it's about like you need to be held accountable for those actions. You know what I mean?
So the Federal Correctional Institution Dublin, a women's prison in California, was permanently closed in 2024 following a scandal involving staff sexual misconduct, unsafe conditions, and constitutional rights violations. The closure was announced after a 60-minute report of an FBI investigation highlighted the culture of abuse leading to inmates being moved to other facilities in December 2024. The government reached a large settlement with many of the women who were sexually assaulted there.
Wow.
So it was like I think it was a mistreatment, and I think it was obvious. And even I've met girls that was doing time with my mom, and they were saying that it was just, some things they did wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nah, man, get a lawyer, bro.
And I know you did some advocacy work, right? Trying to like change some laws around prison. Yeah. That's great.
I did it for a few years, but
Yeah.
you know, when I realized the system isn't broke.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just broke for us. It's just not meant to work.
Yeah.
And that's just what it is.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry that happened.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks. It sucks like crazy.
Yeah.
But you know.
Yeah.
So on a happier note, you got some new music coming out. So you had Crip Harder is one of the newest ones. So we saw some of that artwork you had on your
wild,
IG page.
My distribution refused the artwork.
Really?
Why?
Man, it was just, I don't know, because I know celebrities are public domain images. You know, you could parody anything, but Trump got everybody so fucking scared, man. It was so hilarious to me because, like again, I'm a true hip hop artist.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean, I am definitely a line crosser. You know, I'm the cornerstone of what makes West Coast hip hop great. So I'm going to do the things that I feel artistically appreciate. They artistically capture exactly the energy I'm looking for, and to me, that's what it captured.
Okay.
So to watch them go back and forth, like, oh man, we can't do this, and I'm like, bro, y'all cannot be scared to press the line, like, and they was like, nah, man. So I was like, okay, well, whatever. So I let them use a artwork that's preferable, and then I still use my own artwork anyway.
Right.
And I made my own sweater. Like I don't see in no world where Trump is like, oh, that Crip guy used my artwork and I'm going to sue him. It's like, bro, that would just make me sell platinum.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't even think it was funny. I don't think he would even be offended by it. He'd be like, this motherfucker crazy.
Yeah.
And Trump would be saying, man, this motherfucker crazy. So somebody got to be crazy.
Yeah.
But it was a dope record. Shout out to the Peacock, Sega, Kiki Loco, Cuzzo Chef. EP played on it. Les did the shit. My boy Swab did the artwork. I'm proud of it. I'm proud of the record. It's good.
Yeah, but though it's Trump, man. Anybody that come across Trump, he will knock you out. I mean, look at Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah,
he forced this girl to retire, which I'm happy she retired. Don't get me wrong, but I'm like, dude, people scared of Trump, man.
Yeah.
He got his way.
Listen, I can't imagine what it's like living with that much fear. You know what I mean? And maybe mine is based off of ignorance of knowing why I shouldn't be scared. You know what I mean? Maybe they know the real Trump. They're like, don't be playing with Trump.
I mean, she knows the real Trump because she was
in his pocket there for a while. So yeah. I mean, I don't know. How do you feel about him being our president?
I think America gets exactly what they deserve.
Yeah.
America want to act a jackass and be on Twitter and talk crazy and making a fool out they stuff. This is how y'all want it. Now y'all got a president who acts just like y'all. So,
I've never heard it said that way,
but he's right.
People get on Twitter, you see people being comment, they be talking crazy. Your president is just like you. You know what I mean? So you can't. You got a man of the people. He's just like the rest of you assholes. So, I think America is getting exactly what it asked for. And they voted, so, deal with it.
That is so true. That is so true. No, I like the way you said that.
But just so you know, as a guy who's in the DMV, we didn't vote for him over here. That's not
No, look, I feel bad for the people who didn't vote for him.
Yeah.
But, back up, let people who voted for him have it. You know what I mean? Like, this is what they want. And honestly, man, I just think he acts just like the general public. That's the funny part.
Yeah.
He acts just like the general public.
Yeah.
Like, if I don't like something you said, I'm not going to find your YouTube and hassle you or rap.
Right.
That is most of y'all.
Right.
Like, you got to troll to match y'all troll. Like, y'all troll so much. Here's your president. He's a troll.
Right.
He's a troll on social media. Like, he trolled that lady into quitting.
Yeah, he did. Oh,
I can imagine all the sticky notes he was leaving on the desk for her.
He's like 50.
Yeah.
I didn't see Trump was doing some funny shit that's fucked up, raggedy. America got the president it always needed. It was perfect timing for these people that be acting an asshole. Now your president be acting up and acting crazy, just like y'all.
That's true. That's true. Actually, I thought one of the funniest things that happened was Gavin Newsom, your governor, trolling Trump. I was like, he just gave him a piece of his own medicine. I was like, that is funny as shit.
You bringing the troll out this man. This man all these years acting like he was the coolest dude in the world. Right. Now you over there being a troll. See, a troll will make you troll if you ain't all the way together. So now Gavin Newsom is trolling with Trump. I'm like, man, you look crazy.
It was
like, I'm not gonna troll with the president. That's like Vlad. I'm not gonna troll with Vlad.
Yeah.
Like, bro, I know for real. So it's like, I'm not gonna troll with you, but now you're looking at, Gavin Newsom, he's trolling with Trump. Like, you trolling back and forth. Like, nah, I'm cool.
Yeah. No, I mean, I feel the same way. I just thought it was funny. I was like, wow. I mean, I had never expected that from Gavin Newsom. I really didn't.
Somebody got to be a player, man. If the president ain't gonna be a player, and the governor ain't gonna be a player, I'll just be a player for everybody. Glad ain't
I love it.
Yeah,
player, man.
Yeah. No, I love it.
So before we let you go, man, give me your top 5 MCs.
My favorite, or who should be there?
No, your favorite top 5. Yeah.
Oh, my favorite is Dogface, Jay-Z, Rick Ross, Kanye. Crazy Kanye.
Crazy Kanye. Yeah. You are the first that we've interviewed that have had Kanye in the top 5. Like, absolutely.
That's a madman.
Yeah.
That's a madman. I'm like a real Kanye fan. Like, I don't even care about the first 3 albums. Like how the average fake ass Kanye fan, the first 3 albums, that shit is generic. That's peanut butter and jelly. This Yeezus and Dark Twisted Fantasy and Ye and Papo, that is, you get the real Ye. So like, I know he just a bit economy sometimes seeming like a sellout to me and all that, but I always thought it was. So I'm not disappointed. That's what I feel like. Trump, I'm not disappointed. I knew who he was already. Like Kanye, I knew this motherfucker was crazy.
Right.
I knew this motherfucker was crazy. So when everybody else figured out, I'm like, knew it. Fucking knew he was crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
So I feel like, vindicated. Like, knew this motherfucker was crazy.
Yeah.
What's your top 5?
My top 5?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, Eminem is, he's, Pac, of course. I just love Pac. I mean, I love.
Can't go wrong with Pac.
Yeah. But single, like Snoop. I mean, Snoop is he's fun. I mean, Dre. Okay. Dre is.
You put Dre there too?
I do. I put Dre there. I mean, I just think he's such a. I don't know. He's such a.
Got 2 classic out.
Yeah.
Wrong with that.
But. I know it's a group. You're gonna yell at me. Outkast. I mean, Outkast is my. I've been listening to Outkast since.
For me,
forever.
It's Pac, it's X, it's Face, Rakim, and my 5th one, Snoop. I guess Snoop.
Yeah.
X and Pac got the same energy and spirit.
They do.
That's the dope.
I love DMX. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what though? Scarface. People sleep on Scarface.
I was gonna say, I'm surprised you didn't have Scarface.
I did. I said Face. Yeah. Face. Scarface.
Man, listen. I've argued with Scarface before. I'm like, man, I think you God. He was like, what? I'm like, yeah, I think you God, bro. Like, I think like God saw hip hop and was like, I want to come down and get involved, but I don't want to remember I'm God. And then he just became Scarface.
Right.
No,
and now here goes Scarface.
Dude, Scarface is deep, man.
He is deep. No, he's got some great,
Well, much love to y'all.
Yeah. No, we appreciate you. Thank you.
Thanks for coming, man. We appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.